Guys, got to tell you about used chambers, okay? Should be a big warning here. Alright, now as you know how you'll feel about me getting a new chamber versus a used chamber, I think getting a used chamber right off the bat, it makes a lot more sense. Feel it out before you end up getting a new one, so I do recommend them. Okay, but I have to stop you for a second. Before you go out here, I get calls all the time. People are saying, oh, you know what, I could just get a used chamber from this guy. I get a chamber from on Craigslist. Or, you know, my friend's friend, he's selling a used chamber. Okay, well that's fine, but what I always say is make sure you ask them, are you willing to send this back to the manufacturer, where we got it from, to have them certify it, okay? Because if you aren't willing to do that, then probably chances are, if you're not willing to spend $300, right, or the person that wants to buy the chamber is not willing to, help you certify for $300 or whatever it's going to be, then probably there might be some sketchy business going on there. What am I talking about? Well, a lot of people like to tamper with chambers, specifically when it comes to trying to increase PSI to get closer to a hard shell. Now, some of the crazy stories I've heard what they do, they take the pressure release valve here, and they pop it off, put the spring, they replace the spring, change it to a different spring that's a lot thicker to actually prevent a lot of air from escaping, okay? So you can actually get a higher PSI in there. Or they take toilet paper in little pieces and they jam it in there, they jam it in there, they jam it in there, another way to just back up the flow. How do you know that that wasn't done in your chamber? How do you know? You don't. So that's why you got to send it back. You send it back, you certify it, they run through all sorts of crazy tests. Tests that are designed to basically find these things that people do that there would be no way that you could tell. Okay, they're trained to do it. They're going to roll this whole thing in a bubble solution, all right? Many times over, they're going to be able to reveal any sort of leaks in there. I mean, you don't want to buy a used chamber and then, 6 months down the road or 2 weeks down the road or whatever, you got like a little bit of an air leak around the window or something like that, okay? I mean, common stuff like that, I hear stories all the time. So they rub it in a whole sorts of solution, they identify any sort of potential leak in there. They increase the chamber, PSI repeatedly over and over again, maybe hitting like 12 PSI or whatever it is, over and over and over again, probably a dozen times or more. That is key, to seeing if, there's any sort of potential issue in there, so that, you don't get this thing, shell out a bunch of money, and then suddenly you have a problem, 2 weeks down the road. So all these kind of tests, they make sure they know how to identify these kind of problems, that happen with used chambers. So we always recommend that. We can definitely recommend who you might want to send the chamber to. We always recommend you ask, okay? Just don't go out and buy something because it's a great deal and because you really trust, who is selling the chamber. They may be really nice people, but you know what I mean? You're going to be investing in your health here, okay? So you don't want to make any compromises. And the important thing is when you're looking at the chamber and you're thinking about maybe buying or whatever, is to focus on, there's a little inner tag inside, usually somewhere in the seam right around here, okay, inside the zipper. It's going to have the serial number, it's going to have a manufacturer's date. That's real important stuff, okay? That is the information that you want to give back to the manufacturer, or ask the person selling it to give you that information, because they're going to be able to look that up. They're going to be able to see all sorts of stuff about the history of that. Like, for example, maybe somebody, they already traded hands a couple times. What kind of problems were with it? Wouldn't it be good to know if you're going to buy a chamber, okay, but you had the history behind it? Maybe it needed to be refurbished or fixed. Maybe there was some problem with it. You want to know the history of this thing before you just buy it. And that being said, what would be more valuable in my eyes is getting a chamber that had no bad history behind it. Okay, it was just, it was sent back, it was certified, and that was it, no problems, okay? Now I would certainly want to get my hands on a chamber like that. So always look for that inside the interior there. Make sure you always get it before you purchase it. What else can I say about, used chambers? That probably about covers most of everything. Just again, make sure that you get all that essential information. Know what you're buying. Okay, don't get attracted to some crazy deal. You want to make sure there's no potential problems with this thing. And of course, also, if you're looking to sell a chamber, right, or you have somebody that wants to buy it or whatever, give us a call. We can help make that happen. To get it sent back, get it be certified before it trades hands again. But anyways, if you have any questions about a chamber that you're looking to buy, or if you need to find one that is used, give us a call. We have a couple hookups that basically have a pretty big list, have history on different chambers, give you all the kind of information so you can feel comfortable about what you're going to buy before you buy it. That's all for now. Give me a call if you have any questions.